Hey, and welcome to Gear and Grit. I want to talk today about a bug out bag, but really, more accurately, it's a get home bag. And before we jump into what I think are the 22 most important essential items you have in your get home bag, I want to tell you who it's for and why I'm creating it. It's for my son, who is at school 7 hours away from here in Virginia. And if things were to go south, he doesn't have anything. He and his roommates are going to be in this apartment, sort of scratching their heads, wondering what they should do. And then at some point, should it extend, they're going to start panicking. So as a dad, I really want to help my son sort of navigate a potential critical issue. So, what I've done is I put this bag together with the 22 items, and I'm going to show you those 22 items shortly. Plus, I've got two bonus items that I think are really valuable. So, please keep watching towards the end. And and I want him to have every advantage that he can should this happen. I saw the sheriff at Butler County not too long ago talk about how he met with Director Ray and how Director Ray basically said it's not a matter of if, but when. And I've heard Ray say that myself. So I'm a little nervous to say the least as a dad. Um, so I've made this bag, and I hope you enjoy and find what these items are. So I hope you find this valuable. I think you will. Please keep watching, and if you've got a comment, would love to hear. Please add a comment. If you've got other items that you think should be in the bag, I'd love for you to comment because I can continue, to send him stuff after I've given him the bag, and we can give him other stuff as well. So if you've got a comment, you agree or disagree, or have some kind of contribution to make, I would really appreciate it. Okay, so let's jump right in to these 22 essential items as well as the bonus items. Okay, let's jump right in. Let's start with the first essential item, and that is the backpack itself, right? Um, the reason why I went with this 40-liter backpack is because I have another one and I fit a lot of the stuff that I bought for my son, these essential items, into that. So I got this one. The reason why I like this one is primarily is it's more gray man. It's more anonymous. It looks like his school pack walking down the street. If he had a tactical backpack with Molly on it, he may be more of a target for someone who knows what those are and what's potentially in there. So I went for like really kind of just plain anonymous. This is not an expensive one. I think I paid like $40 for it, and it's 40 liters, and it fits everything that he's going to need in here. It's got two main pockets, one here, one here. It's got a smaller pocket at the top here, but it's very easily accessible and fits a lot of things in here. And he's in pretty good shape. He's pretty strong, works out a lot, so he'll be set there. It's got these it's got the waistband here to hold support, right, to bear the weight of the backpack. And it's actually pretty decent for a get home bag. So I'm very happy with this. And as I say, it fits everything in there. So that's number one, the backpack, very important. Let's get to number two. Okay, number two is cash. There is $100 in $1 bills in this bag. What I'm going to do before I leave on Friday is I'm going to break these into $10 bags and put them in his bag. Look, nothing speaks louder than cash. And yes, someone could potentially take it from him. he'll put up a good fight if I know my son. But hey, there's nothing like offering someone 10 or 20 bucks to help you along your way, right? Maybe someone can give you a ride. Maybe you offer them cash to help pay for something, or just give them money. That's if that's an option. But I think it's better to have cash than not have cash, right? There's nothing like the greenback to, open doors and smooth the way. So that is number 2. That's going in his backpack. Item number 3 is this Baofeng UV5R, right? This is a ham radio. He nor I are licensed ham radio operators, but in an emergency, the FCC says you can use a ham radio. Now, we also have GMRS radios, but I'm still waiting for those to come in via Amazon. I ordered those, but I've been teaching myself how to use this for the last couple of months. It's preset to the channel, so when we're within close range of where we plan to meet each other, he's going to turn this on. It's preset to the channel, and he just has to listen. I did upgrade this antenna to the Nagoya 771. It extends its range by a few miles. As I say, he does not know how to use this, but he does know how to turn it on, and it's set to the channel. So when I start, talking to him, asking for his name, he can respond back. I'm also doing a cheat sheet for him so that he can listen to other channels, other emergency channels, should he need to. I've instructed him on the channel that we will be communicating. So very important tool, essential item is comms, a radio. Next is your good old-fashioned LED flashlight. He's got one of these. Not a lot to say about this, right? You can adjust the light beam to wider and more narrow and brighter as you go more narrow. So if you're in close range and you want a narrow beam, you can do that. If you're out and you need a wider beam and you're walking, not on a street, but maybe in, some kind of uncharted terrain, woods, rocky ground, whatever, this is good. We also have a complimentary backup for this as well, which I'll get to. But you got to have this, and make sure you have backup batteries, AAA batteries as well. So the next 2 items are protection, self-defense. We've got pepper spray, very easy to use. You just flip the cap, point it at whoever you're trying to prevent or stop, spray, very easy to use. So that's good. And I can see it having lots of applications. It's a little unwieldy though. The spray sprays around, maybe it sprays on you depending on which way the wind is blowing. So this would be my backup for self-defense. My primary self-defense would be this tire baton. This is a truck tire baton, and it actually fits perfectly into his bag, sits up against the sidewall. Perfectly, I measure the height of this against the bag. This is this is quite a weapon, and I'm not condoning violence, but this is purely self-defense. You go out and you start swinging this at someone, I can tell you it's going to hurt a lot, and he's not old enough to carry a concealed carry weapon, firearm, so I feel better that he has this. Okay, next are baby wipes. Making sure I have that the right way around. Again, depending on how far he has to go and how long it takes him, having baby wipes is really important for cleaning yourself in all of the different situations you might want to clean yourself. There are 60 in this. I hope he wouldn't need more than 60, but please God he does not, and please God he never needs any of this. But these are important, baby wipes. And I also have a first aid kit here. I'm not going to open it. It's got tons of stuff in it, and everything's going to fall out if I do. but it's got Band-Aids. If you're walking and you've got blisters, it's got Band-Aids. If you've got a headache, it's got ibuprofen. It's got scissors. It's got a lot of things in here. It's probably overkill, but perhaps not. But a good kit all the same, with everything in addition to what he might need. Okay, next up is this Morocco carbon steel full tang knife. It is a simple blade, carbon steel blade. You could use it for self-defense if you needed to, but there's plenty of other applications for it as well. You need to cut something. I think this is absolutely essential. Okay, so next up are maps. If his phone dies for whatever reason, you're going to want to have these maps to see where you're going. Combined with a compass, I have a compass for him. I just don't know where I put the compass for this video. I've fixed the declination on the compass. He's all set. And use with this, right, if you happen to go off the main highway, you'll have a compass. He's coming from Tennessee, so he needs some Tennessee map, and he's going to be making his way through Virginia, so he needs both maps. So he's all set there. I don't know that he's ever opened a map in his life, but he's going to learn. Next up is whistle. Simple, right? And if you've ever done any kind of outdoors training, camping, whatever, you'll know that the whistle is far more effective at reaching people versus you shouting. It takes a lot of effort to shout and yell, and it uses up a lot of oxygen. Whereas a quick blast on a whistle, I won't do it. It's very loud. It's one of those plastic pin whistles. It is super loud and it reaches very far away. So always have a whistle with you. And this especially belongs in his get home bag. Next up is this Lifestraw. I have a couple of these. I've left it in the packaging because all the instructions are there for him back in front so that he knows how to use it. Again, this is going to be a surprise for him. He's going to look at me and go, "Dad, are you nuts?" And he knows who I am, how I think, my experience. So I think we'll get over that hump pretty quickly. I will explain to him that, look, this is insurance. I hope you never need it. I hope we laugh when we're drinking a beer and talking about this story in years to come. But for now, given the times that we're in, let's go with it. Go with the flow, please. Go with what your dad tells you. So this is the Lifestraw. You need one of these. I've also ordered a flat foldable water container that he can use to fill up one of those with. So that's on its way from Amazon. Next up is this power bank. It's called Iniu, I believe is how you pronounce it. There is a fabulous YouTube channel called something farm. Oh boy, it's completely slipped my mind. But he did a video on these under 30 power banks, and this was way ahead, scored way ahead of all the other power banks. So I've got him 2 of these. They're fully charged. Again, if it's not a terrible attack, if it's not EMP, he can use these power banks with his phone, and hopefully, they'll help him out significantly. I found the rain jacket. It's just a hood, 100% waterproof. I don't know what I paid for this. I've had this a very long time, but I've got a couple of these, so I'm going to give him this one. But 100% waterproof is really critical. You don't want something that just sort of deflects water for a bit. You will get wet, and it will become a miserable experience, especially if you're hiking for a long time, walking for a very long time, potentially days. I hope not, but you want to stay dry should it start raining, and get a 100% waterproof jacket. So now heat and fire and all of that kind of stuff. So I've got this Zippo lighter. I've changed it to the electronic version, so you can see there it is windproof. This, it ain't going out. So that's good, fully charged. I've got backup matches as well. He's going to have, I didn't include those here, but matches he's got. I also have lint soaked in Vaseline. You can use cotton balls. I'm a cheapskate. I take all the lint from our dryer, and I just collect it, and lint goes up like that. And then a couple of sticks of fat wood. If you're not familiar with this, you can buy it in any store at a supermarket, and it burns very easily. They've obviously treated it in some way. I have a wood fireplace here at home, and I use these all the time to help me start my fire. Why kill yourself when you can use things like this to help you along? So I've got a bunch of these for him as well. That's going in his bag. Next up is a hat, gloves, hat, really warm hat. It's a solid, it's a quality hat. So are these gloves, very good. Keep them warm and essential, right, to stay warm. Okay, the last three items that I want to cover before I get to the bonus items are, again, really important. I think these potable tablets are really good. You need a container to put them in, but if for some reason you lose this Lifestraw, and he may even have company with him, he's got his roommates, his buddies are all from around our area, so they may be moving in a pack, in a group of people. I need to think about, okay, what do I do for those guys as well? I can't just give my son something, so I need to figure that one out. But if he does lose that, he's got these, right? He can fill a container full of water. You drop these in. I think they take, from what I remember, I read the instructions a while ago, I think they take 3 to 4, maybe up to 5 hours before they're effective. But they're a great backup, right, if you need water. So these potables are very good. Potable aqua. Here's an emergency Mylar blanket. I mean, the uses are kind of endless. You know, keep you warm, reflect, get you seen, keep you dry. There's probably a bunch of other things. Let me see. I'm looking at the package it came in. It says fishing lure. Okay, that's I don't quite get that. Arm sling, tourniquet, trail marker, bird repellent, emergency shelter, sleeping bag liner, absolutely, wind blocker, rain blocker, shade cover, emergency signal, rain poncho, backpack cover, tent footprint. He's got 4 of these, and I think they're absolutely critical. They need to go in the bag. And then we've got this headlamp. So he's got a flashlight. I know I showed you the flashlight, but if you're, you need to be hands-free, you want a headlamp as well. So very important. Okay, so now I'm getting to the bonuses. Okay, a radio. Now, we talked about the Baofeng ham radio that you could listen to and listen to emergency channels, but this is a really more user-friendly radio. It's a hand crank, right? So you power it by just cranking the crank, and then you've got FM, AM access. It's got an antenna here, so gives you a little bit of extra power, and I think he really could do with this. Bonus number 2 is junk silver. Yes, I collect silver and junk silver. So this is a bunch of quarters pre-1962. You might question whether, there's use for this. Someone along the road may know what junk silver is and appreciate it. It is I think it's really handy to have in addition to the $100 bills that he has. So that's another thing. Next essential, Mountain House meals that you can add water to, and these are like, they weigh next to nothing. They actually lay out pretty flat as well. So he's got a few of these, and I'll send him some more in the mail. And then finally, the one final item that I think is really important for your mind, for your positivity, for your mental stability, right? So that you don't lose it, is books, right? If you're camping overnight or you gotta nestle down for the night, being able to read some books to take your mind off your current situation and your struggles, I think is really important. You can listen to the radio, it's going to be all potentially bad news or even helpful news, but there's nothing like, reading for an hour and taking your mind off it. You'll see I'm a big fan of this book, Killing Jesus. I've also got some other books that I'm going to put in his backpack as well. So that is it, my friends. I hope you really enjoyed it. I hope you found it helpful, and look forward to my next video, and hope you find that helpful too. Thanks so much.